Hold the ear, put the ear piercing instrument up, pull back the trigger, 1, 2, 3, pierce the ear.
It's one for everybody.
At the front, away, turn it upside down, put the earring into the little hole, turn it towards you, it comes out, slide it in, pull the trigger back, right down. As far as ear piercing goes, like I said though, you don't need a license. You guys can do this now to your family or friends. It is a very impulsive purchase with a low cost to get into it. When you buy these earrings to pierce people's ears, your cost per pair on these average out to about $2. The stores that offer this service today, they charge the low end, I guess, is around $8, $10. These malls are charging like $20, $30 now to pierce ears.
60.
I'm going to raise my prices, yeah, 60, whatever. But the point is, the whole point here is, it only takes about 5 minutes to complete the service. So you have a good profit margin. What we're going to talk about though today is why the holes close, why they infect. You get the little, what do you call, lumps in your ears. We're going to get into that in some detail. If you decide to offer ear piercing in your salon, it's important that you put the certificate of accomplishment up somewhere in your service area for your customers to see. It's not a license, but it tells them you've had some formal training to safely pierce their ears. Like I said, it's an impulsive purchase. The client's sitting there, they're staring at the walls and they see this. Some of them are going to ask you questions about it. You answer the questions, you will pierce some ears. There's no doubt about it. However, use this as a marketing tool. That's more important. Tell those clients as you get to know one another, be honest with them. Say, look, I know you have family members, you have friends, they're bringing those kids to the malls, they're paying $20, $30, $60, whatever, to get their kids' ears pierced. Tell them the next time they want their kids' ears pierced, tell them to send them to me. Tell your family member, I'll pierce their kids' ears for free if the parent gets a service from me. It's a way to get some new business. You guys, you got to promote yourselves these days outside the beauty salon. The days of putting a sign in your window, they're not as effective as they used to be. You have to do what you can to get your name out there. Ear piercing is popular. If you've gone into a store before to have your ear pierced, they sit you in the chair, they clean your ear, they mark your ear, hopefully, with what they call a surgical marker. They remove the earrings from its package, they take the bottom of the instrument, they pull this plunger back, they take the front of the instrument, they slide one of the backs into it, they pull them apart. They take the mount, they turn it upside down, they put the earring style in the little hole or cylinder, they turn it, pull it up, they take your ear, I guess, slide it in the front, they pull the trigger back, pierce it, let go of the trigger, they pull the instrument down. What this procedure is designed to do is put the front and the back of the earring through the client's ear in a sterilized process. The problem is, what I just showed you is the training that goes on in a lot of these stores that offer this service, and there is more to it than that. That's why the holes close, they infect. What do you call costume jewelry? A lot of people can't wear that, all kinds of itching. Those are some of the things we're going to talk about this morning. We're going to get into the class. You need to know, if you decide you want to do ear piercing, you want to follow these procedures. Everyone you pierce should fill out a release form. Charisse needs to put her name, address, telephone number on this and sign this. When she signs this release form, she's acknowledging two things. One is she agrees to follow the instructions, which we're doing now. The second thing though, if the hole becomes infected for any reason, all she has to do is remove the earring for the infection to go away. So if the person's under 18, you could still pierce their ears. The only thing is, because of that responsibility clause, it has to be signed by the parent or guardian. These earrings are called training studs. They're called that because they're designed to stay in the ear for 6 weeks to form the hole. They're made out of surgical steel. Surgical steel is what a surgeon's scalpel is made out of when it cuts your body for surgery. It only has a trace of what's called nickel in it. Some of you guys may have heard that word before. Nickel stands for lead and copper. All jewelers use nickel to make metal and gold hard. Surgical steel is virtually nickel-free. It's up to Charisse. If she wants her ears pierced with gold, then that surgical steel will be covered with 24 karat gold. 24 karat gold is the only gold that's pure. There is no nickel in 24 karat gold. But what's important to tell the client, if they take this training set out in 6 weeks, For the next 4 months, wear earrings day and night. If they don't do that, the holes start to close. And you want to tell them to wear at least 14 karat gold jewelry or higher during these 4 months. If they like silver, tell them to wear sterling silver, platinum. That gets a little pricey. You can put them in this direction. You can buy these in the stores. You got to look for them. These are 24 karat gold, but the 24 karat gold on these earrings is what they call electroplated over surgical steel. Electroplating means they attach the gold to the steel with electricity. It doesn't come off. It's a very strong bond. But most people, they take this training set out in 6 weeks. Here's where the problem lies. They immediately put in those 99-cent earrings, which I'm not making fun of. But those things are all nickel. Even if you're not sensitive to it, as soon as you put those in, you can develop a sensitivity. The holes start to itch, they get sore, they start to swell up on you. So when you're piercing your client's ears, it's important to tell them, especially if it's a child, keep those earrings out completely until at least 6 months after they've been pierced. Then there's a good chance they won't develop any type of sensitivity, or they can keep this training stud in if they want the full 6 months. You have to clean them every day. That's very important. We're going to talk about sanitation. Cherise can do this as well. Just keep them in the full 6 months. Guys.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Sanitize your hands. For classroom purposes, I use this antiseptic hand wash. It's just convenient for me. You can use soap and water, you can wear gloves, but you guys are going to see my hands aren't going to touch the actual holes we pierce in the Cherise's ears. But always sanitize your hands, common sense. The second thing you should do before each ear piercing is you should also sanitize the moving parts of the ear piercing instrument. You guys, there's a difference between sanitation and sterilization. Sanitation is recommended on anything that can only touch the person's skin. So I'm going to sanitize the instrument. It's only touching the skin. However, sterilization is required on anything that breaks the skin. So these ear piercing studs, whichever style she chooses from this display, will be packaged like this because they've all been pre-sterilized in a gas heat. These are the only things you should use to pierce the ear. Now the only thing you need to check for on your client before you clean their ears, always check them first for these little lumps. If you guys feel your ears, I don't know if you want to do that, students, you might feel lumps or knots if you've had your ears pierced before. Excuse me. That's called scar tissue. If you do ear piercing, this happens a lot. People come in, they ask you to reopen their holes because they've closed previously, but they want them reopened in the same spot. If you feel a lump, that's scar tissue, you pierce that, you break it, it gets bigger and bigger each time. So if there's a lump or not there, the hole's closed, just pierce directly next to it, to one side or the other. If there isn't any scar tissue, then that's okay. You can go ahead and pierce it in the same spot.
Is that how people get keloids?
That's a good question. Keloids is excessive scar tissue. It's not just that small ball. You guys heard of keloids before? No. There's people that have keloids, when they cut their skin, any part of their body, not just their ear, their skin doesn't heal in a normal fashion. They get excessive scar tissue. But you ever see that big ball in the back of someone's ear? I don't know if you guys may have seen that before. That's a keloid. And what that's generally from, the person gets their ear pierced. Remember, the holes don't close in the front. They close in the back. They take their earring and they push it through and they break that scar tissue that's formed. If you happen to keloid, you don't have to do that very often. Once, maybe twice, and you can develop that big ball. Keloids generally run in people that have more melanin in their system, and they tend to be hereditary. They kind of run in the family. But keloids now are being removed pretty effectively. They use a steroid. They burn them off. They don't cut them off anymore, use a laser. They pretty much burn them off where they don't grow back. But that's a good question. This is the most important. I'm going to clean off Cherise's ears with alcohol before I pierce them. What alcohol does on your skin, it's designed to take oils off your skin. I'm going to give her this tube of ear care gel. This is an antiseptic. Antiseptics are very mild. They don't over dry the skin. If I didn't have this for her, I could still pierce her ears. It'd be okay. I just tell her to go to the drugstore and buy any type of a general antiseptic. Bactine, you guys have probably heard of that. And I know some of you guys have heard of Neosporin. I'm a big believer in that Neosporin. That stuff is really good. But Neosporin is an antibiotic. Technically, an antibiotic is designed to kill an infection, and antiseptic's designed to prevent it. They're kind of opposite of each other, but either way it works, or you can use soap and water. Dial soap, by the way, is very good because it's antibacterial. The key is you need to let the client know they need to clean each hole you pierce twice a day, once in the morning, once in the evening, for the full 6 weeks, irregardless of how their ears feel. And the only time you should clean them more than twice a day is if you perspire. Perspiration gets in the newly pierced holes, it raises the chance of infection. Be careful, some of these stores that pierce ears, they tell you to clean them like 10 times a day. You don't want to do that, because then you keep it too moist. The other thing is, we mentioned scar tissue earlier. There's another thing you can do. Remember, how many guys have been told to turn your earrings, you know, once a day or whatever? I'm sure after you had them pierced. Yeah, you hear that a lot. Well, you should turn them just once a day. Don't turn them 10 times a day, because then you raise the chance of infection, because you're potentially getting bacteria in those newly pierced holes. However, what you can also do is just move them back and forth once a day. What that does is it creates scar tissue, and there's a positive side to that, because when the scar tissue is created, it forms a circle around that earring post. Then when you take the earring out in 6 weeks or so, you have the hole, but the scar tissue surrounding it, that will prevent nickels from getting into your system. So that's also what you can do. The last thing you need to tell the client, you can pierce anywhere on the outside of the ear, the bottom, the top. Sharice can pierce up here if she's crazy enough. But let the customer know, you pierce up here, this is called the cartilage, the gristle. This is soft bone tissue. When you pierce up here, you guys, technically it's like breaking or chipping bone. This can hurt a lot more than piercing down here, the ear lobe. This is soft skin tissue. And this can take longer to heal. I have people tell me, I'm not exaggerating this, they pierce their ear in this cartilage. Some people say it takes like a year before it starts feeling better. It hurts. You lay on it, you hit it with
the telephone.
Telephone, yeah, exactly. It can be painful. So make sure you tell them that. That's important. Which one do you want? I'm going to mark her ears off only with this surgical marker. This is the exact same thing a surgeon uses when they mark your body for surgery. It's made out of vegetable oil. Be careful, you guys. People get their ears marked in some of these stores. This may have happened to you. With pens, yeah, magic marker Sharpies. That's dangerous. Some of those things have lead in your bloodstream. You can get lead poisoning. Only use the surgical marker. You doing the third one, sweetie?
Yeah.
No cartilage, right? Any questions, you guys? If I can, I'll try and answer them for you. Guys, the gun is only safe to do on the ear, you guys, bottom, top of the ear. Eyebrows, tongues, nipples, navels, not a good idea. Those should be pierced with needles, hollow needles. The advantage the instrument has over the needle, it doesn't cause bleeding. And the reason for that, when the instrument pierces your ear, it's kind of like piercing a balloon that never bursts. The training stud goes through the ear, the skin tissue wraps around the earring post, it seals itself immediately. Some of you guys, I'm sure, have had body parts pierced. They'll take a needle, it's hollow in the center, they push it to the body part you want pierced, and then they immediately replace it with the tongue ring, the navel ring, whatever. The ring they replace it with, if the post is too small for the hole they just made with that hollow needle, it doesn't seal. When it doesn't seal, you guys, that's when it bleeds. So you got to be real careful with that. Nothing wrong with body piercing. I'm not throwing that under the bus. We actually sell the needles now. Aesthetics has the needles in another division. I am not allowed to show needles in a beauty school or a beauty salon. You will. But just a recommendation, if you want to have a body part pierced, find somebody with a lot of experience in that. Because the function of a body piercing is done by the person's hand. The function of the ear piercing you're going to see now is not done by my hand, it's done by the instrument. So, a little off the subject, but that's a good question. Yeah, only use the ear, you guys. Yes, honey?
I heard that boiling salt with water helps also to pierce.
Yeah, sea salts, for body piercing especially, that's more of the homeopathic. Sea salts definitely works. That's good stuff. Absolutely. It's more homeopathic. I'm not sure if that's FDA. The antiseptics are FDA approved, and that's what I can show you. I can't show you the other homeopathic things. But yeah, but it does work. Definitely. Which one do you want?
This little one.
Gold or silver?
Gold.
Gold. And by the way, when Sharice chose the earring from the little display thing here, they do come in 3 different sizes you can pierce with now. They come in a large, a regular, and a mini size. So the instruments have what's called these little adapters in them, and they have these little clips you can use to change them. You take this clip, set it onto the instrument, pull back this plunger, you can remove the adapter. This is set to go for a regular size earring. There's one for a large size and then a mini size. We're going to use the mini size earring because that's what she chose. So I'm putting the mini size clip in. I pull the trigger back, excuse me, and you remove the clip. So it's ready to load. Or you can change these with your fingers. Just simply pull the plunger back. You can take the little adapter out with your fingers. If you use your fingers to change the adapter, what should you do to the instrument? What's that called? Sanitize. Very good. And sanitize it. Then the other thing that can cause an infection, it's the person that's piercing your ear. When they open these packages and they remove the sterilized earrings, what they'll do, they'll touch one or both of the little points that stick out the back. You guys, if you touch those points, the earrings are no longer sterile. You can touch the backs or the heads of the studs, but not the points. You can't sterilize your hands. Gloves is not considered sterilization. So be careful that you don't touch the points. Now when you load the instrument, you guys are going to do this in a minute. I'm going to pass these out to practice. Hold the instrument level, straight across like this. Take the front of the instrument, slide the back into the front very gently, straight up and down until it stops, and pull them apart from one another. Take the mount, turn it upside down, put the earring style into the hole or the little adapter we just changed, gently turn it towards you, it comes right out. The kits come with this ear care gel. This is the antiseptic we talked about. This also has a little bit of aloe vera oil in it. You don't have to do this, but I think it works. You take a little bit of this and just put it along the earring post without touching the post. So as the earring goes through the ear, it soothes it, and then right after I pierce it, I'm going to put a few drops of this ear care solution on. This is good stuff. This has benzalkonium chloride in it. This gets into the hole and soothes it completely, and you guys will see that. At least I hope. It didn't work last week. Hopefully it'll work this. No, just kidding. That's a joke. Okay, hold the ear. Put the ear piercing instrument up. Pull back the trigger. 1, 2, 3. Pierce the ear. Does that feel better? Say yes.
Yeah. Say yes.
When you're chasing that kid around the store, it makes it a little bit easier. Also, babies' ears, newborn babies, I forgot. This is real important, especially in salons. I'm going to stereotype, but women do go into beauty salons. If they know you do ear piercing, some of them are going to ask you to pierce the newborn babies. They want to get that over with. Before you do that, always ask the parent if the baby has had their tetanus shot. When a baby's born, it has its mother's immunities from the mother's womb to fight against infection. But as the baby gets older, 4 or 5 weeks old, the immunities wear down. I think it's 8 weeks they have that, what's that called, a DPT shot, diphtheria, pertussis, tetanus. So you want to make sure they've had that. That's important. I forgot to mention that. Okay, same thing on this side. And watch, I'll close my eyes on this one. Watch how easy this is. Really? 2, 3, pierce the ear, pull it. Now I'm going to give the gel to Shreese. How many times a day should she use this, remember?
Twice.
It's easy, students. This is easy to do. And I'll tell you, as long as these little babies keep being born, this does not go away. It will not go away. What I find, though, is this is kind of recession-proof, because that little girl, now a little boy, that wants to get their ear pierced for the first time, they're going to get it done. The parents are bringing them to the malls and paying whatever it is they're paying, $20+ to get their kids' ears pierced. If you decide to do this in your salon, put the signs up, put the certificate up, have a program for those clients to bring their family members to you to pierce the kids' ears. Don't shy away from that. You got 10 people in your chair every day. Most of those people have a brother that's married with children and or a sister married with children. They're bringing them to the malls. You have to have a program to get them in. That's why we brought this tattoo thing in a couple of years ago. It's a marketing tool more than anything. It's a way to get some new business, and we're going to get into. Oh, I need a model for this too. You'll be the model. You're sitting on this side.
One for everybody.
At the front. That way. Turn it upside down. Put the earring into the little hole. Turn it towards you. It comes out. Slide it in. Pull the trigger back. Perfect. So, on the front of the brochure, you'll see a listing of 2 kits, a starter kit A, starter kit B. What we did was we put them on display for you. This is the starter kit A. Now this comes with everything you're going to need to pierce people's ears. The ear piercing instrument, it has an unconditional lifetime guarantee to it. If it breaks, it gets old, a truck runs this thing over. Call the 800 number, they'll pick up the old instrument, they send you a new one, no charge. Don't lose this instrument, you never have to buy it again, which to me is a good deal. It comes with the instructions, which goes over a lot of the things we talked about in the class this morning. And it comes with all the peripheral products we use to pierce Sharice's ears. The marker, the gel, the lotion we put on right after to soothe it, the release forms, the signs, the alcohol, and the catalog to reorder the earrings when you run out. All of these items are always free, but these items you don't have to send back. You run out of them, you lose them, just call the 800 number, they send it to you in the mail for free. So the only thing you have to repurchase once you buy these kits are the earrings as you use them up as you pierce people's ears. And the kit A, it comes with 20 pairs of earrings you can use to pierce with. It's a combination of the 24 karat gold and the silver, and it comes with some of the cubic zirconia. The cubic zirconia are more expensive to pierce with because they're made out of crystal. If you carry those, you should charge more than the other styles. Those are all glass. I was in Claire's, one of the malls. At least I saw they were charging like $28 to pierce with these cubic zirconia. So if you carry those, you want to charge more. This is the cost. The regular price is $112, but you can get the average around a 20% student discount for sitting through the class, which makes the cost $89 for this particular kit A. If you charge what the malls charge for this, which I think is around $20, $20 times the 20 pairs, it brings you back a return of about $400. So it's a pretty good return on your investment. But like I said earlier, you can do this now. Pierce your family or friends outside the school. You can charge them half of that price. So charge them $8 to $10, and you'd still make back about $160 to $200. So it's still not a bad return. You can also buy the kit A. I know it's not listed on that page. It's exactly like this. The only difference is they take the crystal diamond out, they replace it with a glass diamond. That kit is $79. So you can also buy the kit A for $79. One is a glass diamond, the other one has a crystal diamond. Then you have the advanced kit, the B kit. This is a retail kit. It's just like the A. The difference is you get a lot more earrings. You get 62 pairs of earrings to pierce with, and you get this, I broke this morning, you get this counter display that you put in your service area. It shows all the styles available to pierce your client's ears. This is very effective in a small service setting, the client's sitting there, because some of the people just buy the earrings without you piercing their ears. They're very standard earrings. Anyway, the kit B, let's see here, the regular price is $217. With the student discount, they're $169 for the kit B. The return you make back, if you charge what the malls charge, $20 times the 62 pairs, it's over a $1,200 return. It's a pretty good return on your investment. You could charge $5 to your friends on this B kit, and you'd still make back over $300. I would not charge $5, however, if you do this in a beauty salon, simply because you'll find parents will not take their children to $5 places to get their kids' ears pierced. They'll take them to $20 places. They think it's safer. It may not be, who knows. A lot of it's just perception, so be careful with that. Also have people ask you to pierce them off their ear. You take the instrument, pierce anybody off the ear, the release form is null and void. It does not protect you. Stay on the ear, make sure this is filled out, you're protected, you pierce anything off the ear, you're on your own. So don't do that, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, enough. Your client's sitting in your service area. Generally, they won't ask you about your cosmetology license. They assume you have one, you work in a beauty salon. They see this hanging on your wall or your mirror. Some people are going to ask you questions about it. You answer the questions. It's impulsive. Like I said, you're going to pierce some ears, but use it as a marketing tool. Encourage them to bring their family members and friends. You'll pierce their kids' ears for free if they get a service. It's a way to get, like I said, some new business.